It's everything we had hoped it would be.
I love it. My name is Georgia Lee, and I live in Carmel, California.
And I'm Ken Lee, and I live with Georgia. Well, we're relatively new to the area, and so we just bought this place just about a year ago, and we spent the first 5 or 6 months working on the inside. And once that was done, it was time to look at the outside, and we saw a lot of potential because we were fortunate to have 3 sides to our house and 3 patios, but they were not very well coordinated. And so we thought this would be a great opportunity to really invest some time and money and make it more of a signature statement. And I think we succeeded. Well, we interviewed a number of landscape contractors and designers. Juan Carlos just stood out because he had a lot of passion for what the work was. We thought he'd be a good guy to work with. And it turned out to be the case.
We had a very basic concept.
Which we drew up. We drew it up.
Yes.
And Juan Carlos took that concept and that vision and just made it better. Once we met Martin and Eduardo, those guys were primarily the team working out here, and they worked really well together, and they were just diligent in their work. And Martin in particular was incredibly meticulous. I mean, that was one of my favorite parts, just watching him, because he is a stone craftsman.
I also think it's a very small community, and for the bulk of the time that they were doing all of the big work, the loud, noisy work, but they adhered to the HOA rules and regulations. Our neighbors, every time we'd see them, those guys are so good, they're so conscientious, they're so respectful. We really like them.
And along those lines, they were also very neat. So when they were done at 4:30 in the afternoon, everything was put away, everything was swept up, it was orderly. There was no issues with our neighbors about complaining about, debris left behind. So they were incredibly conscientious from that standpoint. We're very happy with the process. The schedule was basically what Juan Carlos had said it would be from the very beginning. There were no surprises there. And Juan Carlos made it a very positive experience. Doing a home renovation and doing a big landscape project can be anxious and intimidating, stressful. And for us, because we were invested in the process and we had confidence in Juan Carlos and his team, they just made it so easy for us. And so every time we would get here, we were pleasantly surprised. He was great with texting us issues that were coming up. So we were always informed. And with contractors, that's not always the case. We love Japanese architecture, and we love being in Japan, and we wanted at least the front patio to be that calming area when you first come in and enter the house. So with the fountain and the simple landscaping, I think we achieved that. We intend to stay in this home for a long time. And so for us, it was worth the investment of time and money to make something that we were gonna wanna spend time outside. And again, we had the opportunity to connect a couple of these patios. And so we said, let's do this right. We didn't really have a budget in mind. We just had a concept in mind. And I think from my standpoint, it's worked out incredibly well because we intend to use all the spaces. It just enhances the atmosphere of our home. The incident with the wall out here just recently, the work's done and someone had bumped into a wall, the top of the wall, where the plaster was attached to a ceramic tile. And apparently that connection was a weak connection. And so Juan Carlos saw that, couldn't figure out what was going on, then realized it was a different material. And he's gonna come back out and within a couple of days and repair that. It's everything we had hoped it would be, and we're getting lots of compliments from our neighbors.
I love the front, and I love the fountain and the flowers that we planted. I think the side patio, once we get our furniture, we'll spend more time out there with the fire pit, more so than the back. But I think the side patio, the one that's facing the golf course, will be where I feel like, I'll spend most of my time.
His work has been so well received by our neighbors. I think he's doing some work elsewhere because they see the quality of the work that his team did. And they've talked to us and we said, no, he's great, his team is great. You can't go wrong because his design concepts were spot on. He's the first landscape contractor that actually was doing computer drawings to take our hand sketches and convert them into basically computer design drawings that we then used to submit to our HOA for approval. So it really came in handy. And so we just hope to now spend more time outdoors and enjoy this space and all the work that Juan Carlos and his team did. I would do it all over again.